second most shocking movie I've ever seen in my life. Number one being Cannibal Holocaust, but that came 10 years later. So up to this point, this movie must have blown people's minds. This movie was made for $5,000. That's it. Okay? I watched an interview. John Waters said he borrowed $5,000 from his father and made this movie. Okay? So, oh my God, where do I start? All right. If you don't know anything about Herschel Gordon Lewis, who made 2000 Maniacs, before he made 2000 Maniacs, he made Blood Feast. Now, I have seen Blood Feast. Blood Feast is the first gore movie ever, or the first splatter movie ever. Blood Feast is about a woman who hires a guy to cater a party and ends up killing and serving people, okay? It's gross. It's got gore out the wazoo, okay? For the time, which I believe that was made in 1963, that shocked anyone that saw it because no one had seen that, okay? No one had seen that kind of gore. I'm sure he used like meat or animal organs or whatever. There's blood everywhere in that movie and all that. Anyway, then soon, 1 year later, in 1964, he made 2000 Maniacs. I know that the premise is people will end up going somewhere in the South, and then people will start getting killed and probably served up. Okay, so, anyway, this doesn't really have that, but it was an influence, okay? So, we've got, all right, this movie opens up. And we've got a character who is like the announcer of a show. And he announces that the name of the show is The Cavalcade of Perversion. All right, so you know it's going to be good right there. This show, by the way, let me just tell you this right now. If you have not seen this movie, just turn this video off. Go watch the movie. You can watch it on YouTube. The quality is as good as you would want it to be, okay? This movie was made for $5,000. Like, you shouldn't be watching it in HD anyway. Just go watch it, okay? Come back after you've watched it, and then we can discuss it, okay? Now, if you're still watching, we are gonna go through all the ridiculous absurdity of this movie, okay? So, we have the Cavalcade of Perversion, okay? Cavalcade of Perversion is led by Lady Divine. Now, this is Lady Divine here, which is obviously a man, okay? I watched this interview with John Waters, and he goes on there, and he's like, he is not trans, okay? He is a cross-dresser. He dresses up as a woman as this character, Lady Divine. He's not transsexual, okay? He might be gay, but he's not. He didn't want to be a woman, okay? So, John Waters said, there's nothing politically incorrect about it. In fact, it's extremely politically correct as long as you're not trying to, like, overdo it. Some people overthink it or whatever. You know, this guy just dresses up in women's clothing. He's not trans. Anyway, here's a nice picture of John Waters with Divine. I think this is a later picture where Divine was getting, like, really ridiculous. Okay? Anyway. Cavalcade of Perversion. Divine leads it. They take people in. It's a free show. And they have the most ridiculous, insane, exploitative shit going on possible, okay? We've got people, there's like different attractions. It's like a freak show, except, well, no, it is a freak show. We have fags making out, okay? That's one of the attractions. We have someone doing heroin, going through a heroin withdrawal, actually, and so then they like kind of dangle a needle in his face, and he flips out, and that's an attraction. And then he gets the needle and then injects. So that's insane. Okay. We have someone puking and then eating their own puke. We have people having sex, I think, nudists, a bunch of naked people getting into a human pyramid and falling down. There's all sorts of weird shit going on. Like, it's crazy, okay? But it's all like a front, because what ends up happening is Divine comes out and she throws a net over the entire audience. She robs them all. And then if they talk back, she shoots and kills them. I should mention now, this isn't exactly a horror movie, but I'm going to obviously talk about it anyway. It's an exploitation flick, and there are horror elements. It's mainly a black comedy, and it's just completely absurd. I really don't know of anything that came close to being this ridiculous before this, including Blood Feast. All right, so what happens late? Like, I remember I'm watching this, and like 10 minutes in, I'm like, what else can they do? Like, I just saw someone eat their own puke. What else could possibly happen here? Well, we've got the announcer, we find out, is in a relationship with Divine. In the movie, I think they act as if Divine is a woman. They refer to her as she. Although when Divine, the actor, is referred to in interviews, he's referred to as he. So I think in the movie, we're just supposed to assume that Divine is a woman, even though it's played by a man. Also, Divine has a daughter in the movie, and like, you know, it's like supposedly normal. So anyway, the announcer guy is having an affair with a very attractive woman. He tries to get her a job in the Cavalcade of Perversion as someone who eats her own shit. She does not get hired. I think Divine is jealous, probably because she is pretty or whatever. So that doesn't work out. So we find out that they are having an affair, and the girl wants to be with the announcer. And what are they gonna do? The announcer's afraid Divine will kill them if she finds out, which she probably would. And so they're trying to figure out what they're gonna do. And so then, I mean, all this is absurd and insane and disgusting and shocking, but it all makes sense. But then Divine is walking down the street, and she gets assaulted and raped by two people from the Cavalcade of Perversion. I think they were huffing glue. This takes place in Baltimore, by the way. I think they're huffing glue in an alley, and they see her walk by, and they decide they're gonna attack and rape her. Now, why are they gonna attack and rape the woman who kills people in their own show? That doesn't seem to matter. The weirdest part of the rape scene is, well, first of all, no one takes their clothes off during the rape scene, so I don't know about that. And then secondly, it's being, like, the music over the rape scene is like this, like, trumpet music, and the mood is totally thrown off. By the way, this is considered to be the first art exploitation art flick, whatever. Anyway. As if that's not weird enough. Next, Divine is there trying to recover from her attack. And a like toddler shows up in a king outfit and takes Divine into a church, and I timed it. It's a 10-minute monologue where Divine is talking about being taken into this church and seeing the Lord for the first time and this and that, and knowing that the fact that she's going on a killing spree is now approved of by God. And while she's in the church, she meets a woman, and the woman takes a crucifix and inserts the crucifix into Divine's ass, and they have this crazy sexual experience. A long one. It's long. It's referred to in the interview as a rosary job. one of the craziest things ever. While they're doing it, it's flashing to images of Jesus. Here's Jesus. Okay, the girl. Let's see, that's the girl right there who gives the rosary job. She's right here. Okay. While during the sex act, flashing back and forth between the sex act and Jesus, the girl recites all the Stations of the Cross. So between the monologue and the Stations of the Cross is like almost 20 minutes of that going on. It's absolutely insane. Absolutely crazy. At this point, I'm thinking like, okay, this whole thing's unraveling now. I don't think it's gonna come back, but it does come back, and we've got the main character, not the main character, but the announcer. He's talking to the girl. They come up with a plot. They're gonna kill Divine. Okay, they're gonna kill her so that they can be happy together. So they go to Divine's daughter's apartment. Divine's daughter, who's always topless, is there doing drugs with not her boyfriend, because she had a different boyfriend in a different scene, and now she's with a different guy, and she's there, and we can assume that they have just had sex, and they are doing drugs, and basically, I mean, by now, obviously, you either want me to spoil it by now, or you've already seen it, so... the lover of the announcer accidentally kills the daughter, Divine's daughter. Divine comes home. She comes home with this new girl that she's got. There's a bunch of, I mean, I don't even, I'm trying not to say everything, but like, some stuff happens, and I gotta mention this part. We won't go through everything, but Divine ends up killing her boyfriend because she was having an affair with a woman. He was having an affair with a woman. Divine kills him with a knife, and then we get the first horror aspect. She like cuts something open and just starts eating him, and they used a cow heart, like kind of like. You can't exactly see her pull it out of him, but it's close enough. And she's eating a raw cow heart on screen, like for a long time. She's got like the blood all over her face. It's completely insane. Then she ends up killing everyone in the room, including her new girlfriend. She goes completely nuts. Then she finds out her daughter's dead. Then she starts crying. And then she's laying on the couch. She's trying to figure out what to do. She's basically going to take revenge on the whole world because now her daughter's dead. And then a giant lobster comes and attacks her and rapes her. A giant lobster. Like, giant. Like, this movie cost $5,000 to make, and they probably spent at least a tenth of that on building this lobster because this lobster comes out of nowhere and rapes her. And attacks her, but she doesn't die. Then she goes out and she goes on a killing spree in Baltimore, and she ends up getting shot to death about 150 times by the Baltimore police. The craziest thing about this is that while some of the supporting cast like doesn't act very well, Divine and the announcer act in such a way where it seems real. It's such a low budget thing that it seems like it's actually happened and that it's a home movie. It seems like someone just took a camera and just like watched these people actually do all this crazy stuff. The only thing that doesn't seem real is when people get shot. They didn't have the effects to make it look like people are really getting shot. But other than that, I mean, it just, like the way they talk, it just doesn't even seem like a movie. It just seems real. It's crazy. Texas Chainsaw Massacre was realistic. I remember when I first saw that, I was like, wow, this is like a lot more realistic than I was expecting, but this seems real. I know it's not, but it seems like these people are this insane. Let's take a look at this poster real quick before we end the video here. Multiple Maniacs, Gala World Premiere showing. Where is it? Oh, look, take a look down here. You won't believe this one. A celluloid atrocity. Uh, this movie obviously did not get played in any theaters. What happened was John Waters made the movie for $5,000, and then he took the movie on tour and rented out halls and then charged people to come and watch the movie like as he was renting. Like he would go to like, you know, some venue, pay $200, and then just try and sell enough tickets to like recoup and then make a profit off of that. And he toured the whole country. You can see down here, it says, what do we got? 9 big shows, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, April 10th, 11th, 12th at 8 o'clock, 10 o'clock, midnight. So he would get the venue for a night and then like play it 3 times and try and sell a bunch of tickets. And it also says somewhere on here, door prizes at midnight shows, contribution $1.50. So you could like win prizes. So he's like really trying to get people out. This movie is totally insane. John Waters went on to make about 14 more movies after this. I've seen Hairspray. Hairspray, I don't know. He said there was one that was more popular, but to me, Hairspray is the most popular one. It got remade. It was, I think, his only PG movie. Hairspray featured Ricki Lake. It also featured Divine as Ricki Lake's mother. Now, in Multiple Maniacs, Divine plays herself. But in Hairspray, I think she plays Ricki Lake's mother. And that was a PG movie, and it was played on Comedy Central when I was young. So I don't know what I was watching. I just watched it when I was in like 7th grade. Also, very recently, I watched Cecil B. Demented, which I thought was kind of disappointing. After watching this, I would be really disappointed because Cecil B. Demented is kind of dumb. That one's about, it's not, I mean, certainly not a horror movie. It's just about people. It's a movie about people making a movie. And they go around and they make a movie like whether everyone around them care like consents or not, so they like non-consensually force people to be in their movie, and then if the people resist, then they shoot them. Anyway, that was made in 2000. By the time 2000 rolled around, like it wasn't shocking, but I get what they were doing. It's like a movie about making a movie. I get it. All right, I'm gonna stop there. I really hope that you watched this movie before you watched this video. I know that some of my friends are gonna just watch the video anyway, but you know, write what you think in the comments. This is one I would love to have a discussion about because the movie it really blew my mind, to be honest. I give it an 8 out of 10. Part of me wants to give it a 10 out of 10. I know on Rotten Tomatoes it has a 100% approval rating. Part of me wants to give this a 10 out of 10 because for the time it's just so groundbreakingly shocking. But at the same time, like, people in this movie can't act. And, like, people are getting shot and it doesn't look like they're getting shot. I don't know. I'm conflicted. So part of me wants to say 10 out of 10. But I would definitely not go lower than an 8 out of 10. Because in my opinion, it is a culturally significant movie. First of its kind as far as I can tell. As far as what I've read. First of its kind. Multiple Maniacs. Check this movie out. Even if I just said everything that happens, you seeing it for yourself is not going to be the same thing. All right? Check it out. All right. See you next time.